Hey guys, it's Molly here, and I just wanted to kind of share with you a little bit about how MATHO works. MATHO is a math homework incentive program. So I just wanted to share so you'd have a better idea of what you would be purchasing. What you see here on the cover of this pocket folder is just a cover sheet that I made, and I just glued it to the front of the pocket folder. So each child would have a pocket folder, and then they could glue their cover onto the front. And they could write their name, and if you wanted to make it a little more durable, you could put clear contact paper over the top. Now I'll share with you how I plan to use MATHO in my class, and then you can take the materials and use them in your class however you would like. So each child will be given a little sheet like this, and you'll see that you can give them one sheet at a time. This is actually a quarter of a sheet, so you could give them a quarter of a sheet, which would be for approximately a week. You could give them a half sheet or a full sheet, and I'll show you those in just a minute. So if you were using a quarter sheet, you would just staple it in the top of their math homework folder. Well, at the top of each sheet, it says, if you complete your homework, the teacher stamps an O. If you don't complete your homework, the teacher marks a no. You earn a treat when you get 5 O's in a row. Now, for your class, you'll need to decide what kind of treat the students will get. For me, it'll be something simple, a piece of candy, pencil, something like that. Nothing too expensive. Now, the little poem at the top says that the teacher's going to stamp, but you could also use round stickers or anything that you would like to use to mark the O once they have brought in their homework. So, for the sake of this, let me just kind of give you an example of how this is going to work. So it says if you complete your homework, the teacher stamps an O. So I give homework Monday through Thursday. So students are going to bring their homework back in Tuesday through Friday. So the object is to get 5 O's in a row, and then you would earn a treat. So a sample week would go something like this. So let's say that I assigned homework on Monday. The student brought it back in on Tuesday. Now they are required to have their folder open, their homework out, and for me to be able to do a quick check to see that they brought their homework, and I can stamp quickly when I walk around the room. So let me just show you an example of how this might work. So a student has their folder open on Tuesday, ready for me to stamp. Now, my rule is they have to be ready. This is not a slow process here. It should go really quickly. I can get around my room when I've done things like this in the past rather quickly. So the student should be pointing to where they would like for me to stamp, because they do get to choose. So let's just say that this student brought their homework in, they are ready for me to stamp. I walk around, I get to them, and they are pointing to the M here. So I would stamp, here's where they would like me to stamp. Now I have some cute little stamps in my classroom that I've gotten from Oriental Trading. They fit perfectly in these. This is actually a bingo stamper I'm using right now. It's just something that I had here with me so I could demonstrate. So this kid, he's doing great. He comes back in on Wednesday. He has his homework, and he tells me that he would like to stamp right here. So I will stamp. On Thursday, no, excuse me. So he's brought his homework back in on Tuesday. On Wednesday, he gets his freebie right here. And then on Thursday, he's actually missing his homework. So this is where the incentive comes in. They're hopefully motivated to bring their work in so that they don't get a no, because the little poem at the top says, if you don't complete your homework, the teacher marks a no. Well, me as the teacher, I get to block them or put my no anywhere I would like on the board, and you can just use your best judgment how you would like to do that. But in this case, I have the opportunity to put no right here because this child did not come to class prepared. Then he's going to continue with this board though. Okay, so each child is not going to get a new board until they've gotten 5 in a row on the board. So for this particular child, he would need to try to make 5 in a row a different direction. So let's just say he didn't have it on Thursday, but he came back on Friday and he did have his homework. So I'm going to continue on this board, and this child tells me that they would like for me to mark in this bottom corner. So I will mark there. Now you can see that this child can try to earn 5 in several different directions. But if he ever gets his homework again, I'm going to block him and he may have to even start over. Now, if a child gets they forget their homework several times, and you're able to block them several times, and they are not able to get 5 in a row, well, they might fill up their whole board if they are not very responsible in bringing back their work. So, and they may never be able to turn this board in for a treat. And in that case, they would just start off with a new MATHO board. Hopefully, though, you'll have students that do bring in their homework and they do earn the 5 in a row. So here we would mark up, gets 5 in a row. This child can turn in their board for a treat. And once they turn it in, you will give them their treat and then give them a new board stapled into their homework folder. Now, what's great about this is if you have kids that are not really responsible and they're not doing their homework, these little cards have a place for a date. And what you can do is you can pull this out at conference time and you can show the parents how many no's are written on this card. So the accountability is there, and you can share with them how many times they came to class without doing their homework, which could ultimately affect their grades. So the board I just showed you would last a week, possibly a little bit longer if a student forgot their homework. But if you have a very responsible student, they will get through that card. They'll get 5 in a row in a week. Now, some of you may want to go 2 weeks at a time, which is perfectly fine. All of the pages have the same little poem at the top where it says you earn a treat when you get 5 O's in a row. Well, really all you have to do, though, is explain to your students you would staple in 2, and they can get 5 in a row on one and then 5 in a row on another, and then they would just turn in both if you're requiring your kids to get 2 weeks at a time or fill up 2 boards in order to get a treat. So you would just staple 2 in. It would work the same way. It's just once they get 5 in a row on the first board, they can move on to the second board. If you do it this way, you only have to staple in the half sheet of paper every couple of weeks. Well, if you want to go even further than that, you could do a month at a time. So you're still stamping daily or writing no daily, but you only have to put a sheet in their folder. This would last probably for the whole month, give or take a couple of days. So this would be 4 weeks if a student brought in their work every day and they were very responsible. So if you want to offer bigger, better, more expensive treats as an incentive, then maybe you want to have kids earn 5 O's in a row 4 times, and then they turn in this big sheet to go to the treasure box in order to get something really nice. Now, each one of these cards still has a place for the name and the date, because the date is important. Even though you're stapling one sheet into the folder, the dates are important because you can kind of gauge come conference time. You'd be able to look back and say, well, during this time period, your child forgot their homework twice. During this week over here in the bottom left-hand corner, they didn't bring their homework in one time. So the date is still really important for that. So this is, once again, is called MATHO, and it goes like this. If you complete your homework, the teacher stamps an O. If you don't complete your homework, the teacher marks a no. You earn a treat when you get 5 O's in a row. And you can decide how many 5 O's in a row they have to get before they get their treat. So I hope your kids are encouraged and you enjoy implementing this little MATHO incentive game in your class.